Okay, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Shelby County Supervisors, this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Any conflict of interest, gentlemen?
None.
Okay, on the agenda, number 15, which is possible closed session, will not be, so we'll have an open session there. So then you can scratch 16, because we will not be coming out of closed session. Other than that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those corrections?
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Minutes for August 20th. Any corrections or changes, Mark?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Bryce, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Had a chance to look over the claims for the month.
Yep, no questions.
Any questions there? Do I have a motion to approve the claims as presented then?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Bryce, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next on the agenda, Leo Lopke has agreed to be nominated for comp board representing the Board of Supervisors. Bryce, did you speak with him?
I spoke with him and he's willing to do it.
Okay. Board of Supervisors by code has 2 representatives. The other one is Matt Friend. Okay, do I have a motion? Do you have any other questions, Charlie, or anything?
Nope, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce to approve Leo Lapke on the comp board representing the Board of Supervisors. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Next, Sheriff Gross, update and school resource contracted days, possible action.
Good morning.
Sir.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Wanted to bring this along for
Yes,
something.
I
Thank
actually
you guys
planned
for nominating me for that, for the sheriff's office. That was awesome. So this award is the ISAC Excellence in Action Award. And Steve and I went up last week and got that award. We were honored to receive it. It was in honor of unification we did with the city of Harlan and the police department. So I want to thank Gene. I saw he was out there too for great collaboration through the event and all the city that helped make that possible. Good partnerships go a long ways. So,
Yep.
And that was part of it. It was for innovation. Basically 7 pillars of county government, but innovation was kind of a big one. Doing something new, making it a positive thing, and I think they were pretty impressed that since then Gene and I know Steve as well, yielded close to 15 calls from other counties and agencies across the state, kind of looking at possibly doing the same thing or trying to figure out how to do it. Thank you guys for nominating me for that.
Congratulations.
Very deserving.
So.
And about that many afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
Line of
Yeah, and
contacts.
since, yeah.
Since the award came
Yeah.
out and people want to know more about it,
Yeah.
and very intrigued. There was also a press release, Mark, you don't need to read that right now. I mean, you kind of summarized it.
Yeah.
I'd like to have that press release given to the media in our area and also placed on our website and up on the bulletin board. There's a picture of Neil accepting the award too, so.
Yeah, it was a very humbling thing to do and very honored to do it for our county.
And it was a great partnership. Very proud of your accomplishments and your department. It takes a team.
Absolutely it does, yep. And not just my admin team, but the team across the board, the supervisors and on to the auditor's office and on across the street to the city,
Yep.
so.
Yep.
All the way through.
All willing players.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
And that's kind of the main thing we pushed to a lot of those counties that ask questions. It takes everybody on board. So.
Okay.
With that, I have a few updates. Vehicles, I've been trying to stay ahead in the vehicle game a little bit as far as my squad cars. I did purchase one. Logan Police Department actually did this kind of similar thing. They were a one-man crew at the time, so it wasn't quite as big of a deal for them, but they did get absorbed by the county as well, so Logan Police Department's no more. I did purchase their older squad car. Not older by any means, 20-some thousand miles on it, already built and equipped, so I figured I went over there, had some conversations with their city council and their city administrator and whatnot. Yeah, we got to push through. So that's been a great vehicle for us, but otherwise I should have 3 coming within the next month. So cars are hard to get. I'm fishing around for them. I've tried local. He's admitted can't get a hold of them anymore. It's just, I don't know where we're at right now and why it's a problem. It used to be I could go out 2 weeks before I want one, order it, it'd be in and it would be off and running. But that's not the case. Even your builds, like we use Jones Automotive a lot, they're 4 months behind on building a car. So you've got to have some strategy and planning. So we're trying to stay ahead with vehicles.
And you have that all in your capital budget?
I do, yeah, I do. We have not raised that line item in the capital budget
Never.
since at least I've been in
We
office.
lowered it the first year.
So we're still trying to make it work. Trade-ins are treating us okay. The problem is I've been hanging on to some of those, trying to make them last a little longer as spares. Something to discuss maybe in the future, but right now we've been fortunate having not raised that for over 8 to 10 years. So, like Mark said, we actually lowered it. So, body camera purchase, you guys approved me at the end of last fiscal year to go ahead and purchase a set of body cameras and in-car systems for those vehicles. I found them out of Cody, Wyoming. Out of all places, it's used equipment, but it had very little life on it before they got a big grant out there and were able to switch over to a different brand for body cameras and in-cars, so they pulled everything and used their grant to switch over to a different company. I happened to find them online. I was looking to try to keep us up and running and give us another 5-year plan to maybe plan ahead. And I found them, purchased them all. They've all been working great. We've got them in all the cars. We've got a stash of 30 extra body cameras if I were to go down. And now I'm getting contact from other agencies across the state wanting to buy some of my surplus equipment. So I think we'll make our money back on that and still have surplus equipment.
Yeah. And
But
cover yourself.
I think we made a good move when we did it at the end of last year. So yeah, I think we'll cover ourselves in financially and responsibly. So that should be
Good
good.
job.
I've got one deputy currently at the academy right now. Otherwise, we are back up and running with full staff. Hopefully that stays. I've noticed with us being a larger agency with adding 6 with the city of Harlan, we've lost one, about every year it seems like, and some of that is just they want to go and explore new things. They want to go to bigger agencies. That was common with us even when we were 9, 10, 11 man department, but the more people you get, I feel like it's just going to be, you are going to have one that you're always looking for. So we have a kid, Rencoat, he's from the area, volunteers his time coaching soccer. Hired him about 3.5 months ago to fill our last slot, and he is currently at the academy. We should see him back in the middle of December. So he did have 3 months of FTO prior to the academy, so I think he'll be quick to get trained in. Jail school coming up next week, where we have to recertify on a 20-hour for my admin team, and Kyle will be there as well. That's next month in Des Moines. Actually, next week. We're in September. And then on the SRO thing that I had on there, I think maybe Mark, me and Angel might get together, me and you, and start looking at what that ARPA funds, maybe try to pinpoint where exactly we're at as far as that grant money for his salary and stuff we're paying.
Angel will know.
Yeah, we've been talking over, but I think maybe I'll schedule some time with her and have a sit down. I have spoken with the school in Elkhorn, and what they're willing to allocate towards that position, and I've not officially sat down with Jenny Barnett, but unofficially sat down with her, and they're willing to allocate some funds as well. I emailed her last week and asked for a good time to sit down with her and start penciling some things out after I figure out exactly what we're
Yeah, there should be a partnership too.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So I will come back to you guys when I have all that figured out as far as what available funding we have through our schools to keep this program going, but I don't foresee that anybody wants to lose RJ in the school. He's going above and beyond. And on that, going above and beyond conversation, I'm still hashing some things out with Ehlers and Cooney with Mike Galloway as far as some possible options for RJ, because he is a special position. He does work a series of hours and days different from my normal patrol deputies, and they're starting to see that across the state, and there's been verbiage put into FLSA stuff and to say that they are different and that they need to be treated different. We're just trying to decipher exactly what that verbiage is and what we can and can't do with his
You
pay.
cover both ends.
So we cover both ends, yeah, because he does work a lot of front end hours during that school year. But then in the summertime, he still wants to go to some trainings and do
Sure.
some things in his off time. So
Sure.
I don't want to force him to work hard during the school year and then not be a cop in the summer when he wants to come and finesse his training and stuff. So we're working through that. I'm not ready today for an action item on that.
Okay.
I had it on there hoping I would be, but it just didn't happen. So
Okay.
I will come back to you guys when I know more on that position. But
Okay.
as of right now, that's all I have for an update. You guys have any questions with me, any concerns, anything you want to know?
Speed trailer?
Speed trailer. So they are about $7,000. Last I looked at them, I was going to try to fit them in at the end of the budget cycle last year. It didn't happen. I wanted to get my vehicle purchases done at the beginning of this year and then see where we're at in the capital. I think I should be able to do it. I think it'd be a good thing. Bryce and I had talked a while back. I met with Harrison County because they have one. I don't know if you noticed when you pull in the Logan across the bridge, there's Harrison County
Yeah,
Sheriff's
done that too.
Office, big trailer. Well, they can move that around. It's solar powered and it does record speeds. It doesn't record license plates, things like that. It's not sending you tickets in the mail like out in Omaha or Council Bluffs, but it does record the speeds. So just last week, we had several complaints that traffic was coming in from the north of Portsmouth at a fairly high rate of speed. I sent a deputy over there. He sat for about 4 hours in the morning, stopped 3 cars that were in excess speeds, or maybe one ran a stop sign. Made a presence, slowed some things down. Well, that lasted, that'll last a week or two. Or when we're there, they don't speed because there's only so many places we can hang out and tuck away. We did bring up a conversation with Bryce and I that a speed trailer would be a good investment for the county.
Deterrent.
A good deterrent, number one, and a good source of records, because we get complaints for areas where like, hey, traffic's flying, but it's from an average civilian that sees traffic day to day.
Right.
So if we put the trailer out there, and it monitors for 5 days, and we've got a certain either time frame that speeds are increased, or we see that speeds really aren't that high throughout that week, it just maybe the way they're viewing it, we won't isolate our time in that area as much. And it's a deterrent to show that, hey, we do care that people are breaking the law in this area, and we want to put something out there.
Is there any
So,
grants or anything out there for something like that?
there's not a lot of grants anymore for just vague equipment. They want to be very specific on their equipment, and a lot of it is still opioid related or COVID related or things of those nature, mental
Sure.
health related. We're not finding a lot for vague equipment.
For safety.
Yeah, and maybe I could try to put in some sort of safety grant, but we'll see. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll look.
Okay, so that's still on the radar.
Yeah, good. That's what you did there. No, it is. So we're gonna try to work it in yet this year. I'm gonna get these vehicles in and get them settled and see what's at.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Awesome.
any other questions?
No?
I think so.
Thanks, Neil.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Next on the agenda, Jordan Sanders, EMS report. Morning, sir.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Quick handout. So we're starting to gather a lot of new information, especially regarding billing and things like that.
Okay.
So this morning I deposited some checks with Harlan for $113,950.
Wow, okay,
So
good.
our revenues are
I was really concerned till you said that.
picking up.
How much did you say?
$113,950.88.
So, why the delay and it wasn't shown in last month's?
So, 22,950 of that was just checks that we get in. I try and bring those up like every couple weeks. And then I was waiting for a couple of large electronic transfers that I knew were coming in. And so
Okay.
once those hit, then I wrote that check
Okay.
for
Oh, that's good.
91,000 out of our checking account. And it leaves us with 10,000 still in that account as well.
Yeah, because that's what we're supposed to just letting her to operate. on.
Yep.
Then so what are you doing now? Is it every 2 or 3 weeks?
It's
That-
typically,
get down to
Carolyn and I talked, we're trying to do it once a month. The last
Okay,
one
once a
was
month.
towards the end of July, but I get emails from PCC that show when there's electronic funds supposed to be coming.
Okay.
And then there was a couple of larger ones in there, so I waited a little bit longer to receive those and then put those in. I've had a lot of different conversations with Carroll County, some with Sioux City. I've been talking with Dallas County a little bit. Still waiting to get some information back from Dallas County, but with Carroll County, they're similar to us. They operate almost identical. We build a lot of the things that we are doing now off of Carroll County, which works good for them. So far, it's working good for us. The one thing that they're showing is they've been at 35% off of their total. They receive 35% off of what they're billing. Pretty standard.
That's kind of what we budgeted on off of, wasn't it? It was about that
Correct.
35%.
Here's the problem with that 35% is when you pay your billing company 8% of that 35% now goes to 27%.
See, I thought that was taken out first.
No, it is not. So he suggested again that we
Who's
look,
he, Carol?
Yeah, Jamie Webster. I'm actually not sure how you say his last name. It's Jamie. We'll go with Jamie. But the problem is you know, we're new. I know we've talked about having a billing person internally, and that would benefit the volunteers a lot in our county. Obviously, I don't believe we're there yet.
No, we can't afford it to do it.
So, if you look at Sioux City's, what I typed up for Sioux City, they used to use PCC. They now use a company called EMSMC, and I have a meeting scheduled with them at the end of the week.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk with them and see if we should look at switching billing companies. I speak with Terry Regaller, who used to be their chief of EMS in Sioux City. He's a very good contact. He gave me the contact information for Mary, who does kind of he called her their Michael Jordan. So she used to work for the state, so she knows a lot of ins and outs. She was one that suggested that they switch billing companies. And the other thing with that is different billing companies have different outlooks on things. So right now, we're in the process of trying to find some training courses on how to write our patient care reports to generate the most amount of revenue on those. Terry did tell me that the one big thing that this other company does is they will actually come, they're from Wisconsin, they come out to Sioux City every 2 years and do a training with their EMS staff on writing reports to generate the most amount of revenue. So that is definitely going to be something that we are going to look
What
into
percentage
hard.
do they charge?
That I haven't found out yet. When I talk with them, I'll find out all of that.
And then also find out what their billing percentage that they collect too.
Mhm.
'Cause you said like
Right.
Carol's 35 and Carol's
So-
a full-time.
So
they
I
have
can
full-time in-house.
right,
billing
and I
person.
can get Sioux City's. She said she would give it to me, but she said that she was hesitant on giving me something because they bill urban instead of rural, which makes a big difference. Because they're all in city stuff. She said she could give me whatever I wanted, but she didn't want to have things look one way when they're actually going to be different based on our
I would
billing.
note that.
Apples to apples.
Correct.
I would note that. Because what I'd like to see, Jordan, in the next month is a spreadsheet of these counties and what they collect from billing, and who does their billing. And maybe there'll be a common denominator there. And then also, who takes care of the bad debt? Is that the county's responsibility to go after that, or does the billing?
So far,
company?
everything that I've found out, both Sioux City and Carroll both said it is the responsibility of the city or the county. They all take care
Well,
of
we
that.
need to be tracked, you know, how late they get it, and
Yep.
then we start doing that.
Yep, and so in my conversation with PCC, Michelle says we're not there on any of our current
Okay.
claims. And there's 3 to 4 different ways of doing it. So my goal is to find out which way that the majority of these government agencies are doing it, to find out which one works the best.
Yep,
How
that's why we
many-
need that spreadsheet.
Yeah, how many different entities do you want me to try and have?
I know there's 7 or 8 out there. I know you're not gonna get them all, but at least try to get the majority of them.
Okay. Well, and the problem is,
Right.
the biggest problem, like,
There.
I wanted to get into Cass County, but they won't give me any information because they're a privately owned service.
Yeah, no,
I tried
no, it's
that.
just the
So,
county ones.
I was just trying to find
Ones that
the
approve the
comparables.
county.
So
Counties that
that's
have-
the biggest problem is we don't have a whole lot of comparables, especially.
You should be able to
just
get the
Shelby County
list.
size.
Well, and you should be able to get the list of counties that have passed the EMS.
Yep, I have it. Yep,
Them are the ones that you
Yep.
can contact.
okay, absolutely. Carroll County, I know when we had talked to,
Wright County, I know is one.
yep, I know when we talked to Carroll, they said they were only asking like $200,000 from the county, because their billing revenue has been so high. They're up to $550,000 since the last time we talked. So if that tells you how much expenses are going up in
And
15
revenues-
months,
Yeah.
they're up to 200,000.
Yeah.
So, some other things, updates, we have one paramedic that's taking an instructor course.
I wanna go back to the budget yet.
Yes.
Okay. On the budget, I'm so glad that you had said the 113,000, because up to that point,
the last 2 months, we were only averaging 24,000.
Mm-hmm.
We need to average 54,000.
Correct.
And if I add in that 113, that takes us now to 161. So we're up to where we're supposed to be.
Correct.
Because we need 44,000 just to operate.
Just to operate.
And then we have the other 10,000 a month that's going to be put away for capital,
Mm-hmm.
for ambulances, equipment, or whatever. So it's imperative that we stay up where that is. So,
Well, and that's why I want to get some patient care writing tips and tricks to make sure that we're getting the most available funds out of our runs.
in the future, when we have these board meetings, and I know you're going to get us the budget at a time, but before the month ends, this 113,000 that's sitting in there, all but 10,000 should be converted over, so we have a better picture
Yep.
of where we're at.
Yep.
Okay?
And
just
normally
make a
I
note
do
of
that. I was just waiting for those two larger transactions to
Okay.
to
Well,
drop.
even if, instead of waiting, just whatever's available there, make sure by the end of the month, whatever's sitting there is deposited there, so it gives us a truer picture. And then, I don't know how often you sit down and visit with Taryn on the budget, but there's some things that we need to address in the budget that, when you look at it, it gives you a clearer picture. Okay, because, like vehicle fuel, we don't even have it budgeted, but yet we're taking money out of that. Okay? Now,
I know we budgeted for it.
No, it's not in there, okay? Medical supplies is not budgeted in there, but yet we take, like the last month, we took $5,000 out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Telephone and internet wasn't budgeted. I mean, we have budget numbers for it, but it doesn't show on here that it's budgeted, yet we're taking money out of there.
Okay. I will sit down with
And then
her.
another one that needs to get changed, title, it says heating and hot water. It's supposed to be gas, propane, and fuel oil. That is budgeted, but there's nothing been taken out of there. Well, we know we have those utilities, so there's some cleanup needs to happen here. So I think if you sit down with Taryn,
I will do
you can
that.
get that stuff, and it'd be a lot easier to follow this budget then, okay?
Correct.
Okay.
I know you and I in turn had sat down
Originally.
so we'll figure out
Yeah,
what's.
and that's really up to you, how you want to label them, but then the person up at Mark's office that has to
Yep.
look at that, but I know you also have your coding number on there.
Correct.
It's just a lot easier to follow.
Yep. We will have it cleaned up
It's a
before next
cleanup.
meeting.
Okay.
It takes a long time
Oh, I'm sure.
before you'll get it right.
I'm sure.
So
We're working on it, but I'll sit down with Taryn. She's sitting in the back, so I'll talk with her and see when we can sit down.
Okay, that'd be good. Okay,
Any other budget
proceed. No.
questions? Okay. I have a paramedic taking a instructor course through the University of Iowa currently. So we'll have another instructor, certified instructor, on staff. So my goal with that is, I've been having some conversations with the state. I'm trying to see if we can get accredited so we can start teaching even just some EMT level courses out of Shelby County, which would greatly benefit the volunteers. Hopefully that would make it easier for them to do classes, because then we don't have to go off of a university schedule. Like Iowa Western, it's a 3-month course, it's guaranteed, it's gonna be these 2 nights and every other Saturday, however it is. Well, if we're doing it in-house,
So in-house,
We
you
could
can
make it
provide
be a
CEUs.
well, we provide CEUs already, but now we can provide accreditation
Okay.
and certify somebody. So, instead of having a 3-month class, we could make it a 6-month class, just to help spread out the amount of time that it takes, so that it fits schedules better. So we're working on trying to get that, and then we've started standbys for football games now. And then last month we got some equipment from the football team to do some training on the new equipment that they have, so that our staff is up to date on that.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think that's about it.
How'd the race season go?
I'm good so far.
Revenue
no
for you,
big-
correct?
Yes, so I don't have when we have a final total on that, I will let you know how much we generated off of winning the races. So, and that's something good, something that comes into the county, and we just.
Didn't put me in a bind in any way.
No, actually, it made things a little bit easier having an extra because we went to a smaller schedule per se, so then we were kind of bringing in one extra person, so we were actually kind of fully staffed at that point. So if we needed to leave for another call, they were able to leave. And it happened one time as well, so.
Okay. Okay. You guys got anything else? Okay, perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, and whenever, like I said, whenever you get that report finished, I'll
Okay.
get it out to.
Yep,
And
I
then,
will.
Are you gonna be talking to PCC here?
I talk to Michelle every week.
Okay, well, I would let her know that the concerns and make sure we're on that, ask her about that bad debt if that's our responsibility for sure.
Yeah, it is. I do know I have asked her
Okay.
multiple occasions, so that will be our responsibility.
Okay.
It'll be up to us how we want to move forward with collecting it.
We hire a company to do that?
Yeah, that's who we are,
There's
PCC.
4 different ways.
No, to collect.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 different ways we can do it. I think the most common one that I've been told is you put liens on things.
No, get us some options there.
Yep, I will absolutely do that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Any department head reports out there? Anybody? Okay. Supervisors report, you guys have anything? Only thing I have, and you might have read about it in the paper on the pipeline, is South Dakota Supreme Court 2 weeks ago ruled against Summit Carbon Solutions that they did not rule that they ruled that they are not a common carrier, and because of that, they cannot use eminent domain to go on landowners' ground for surveying or for getting easements. And so I've heard someone's going to appeal that and try to prove that they are a common carrier, but that's a huge thing because they have to get permits in North and South Dakota, which they were denied last year, so now they have to reapply before they can start construction in Iowa. So the saga probably will continue. So that's all I have there. Next on the agenda is, this is a follow-up from our last meeting. We have an engagement letter, potential joint representation of the Iowa Utilities Commission's final decision judicial review. We'd gone into closed session the last meeting. Let's see here. And I have the letter here. I'd also forward a letter to Marcus that we got from Allers, and I just got some comments here. Again, this is a follow-up from last meeting's approval to seek judicial review of the Iowa Utilities Commission's final decision and order in Summit Carbon Solutions pipeline permit. We believe the commission made several errors of both law and fact. Shelby County intends to work with 7 other counties affected for this judicial review. There were 7 counties involved with the IUB hearings, and right now all of them are voting this week whether to participate in this, same as we are. And actually we gained one. Harlan County intervened in the Iowa Utility Board Commission's permit process, but now they want to join us instead of having their county attorney take this next step to get outside review of the order. Shelby County remains focused on protecting the health, safety, and economic well-being of its residents, and we do not believe that Summit's project advances those goals. And as far as covering the costs of this review, the Board of Supervisors have budgeted ARPA grant dollars for possible pipeline attorney fees. We started that over 2 years ago, and we continue to do that. And these grant dollars will continue to cover these costs. No local property tax dollars have been or will be used. So we continue to use those federal ARPA dollars for any attorney fees. Marcus, did you have any questions or concern?
No,
It's pretty straightforward. isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's very similar to the one we signed when we began this whole thing, so.
Yeah, with our ordinance.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so this is, again, joint representation letter to have Allers and Cooney represent us. And I'll just list the other counties that are looking at this: Wright County, Floyd County, Woodbury County, Dickinson County, Kossuth County, Emmett County, and Hardin County. Do you guys have any questions?
No. Do I have a motion to proceed with the signing of the potential joint representation with Allers and Cooney?
Motion.
Second?
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Todd Feline, Shelby County Chamber update. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Todd.
Good morning. Hope you all had a chance to enjoy that Labor Day weekend weather we had.
It was great.
Just got a few notification items. We'll start with Iowa State Extension right now is offering a Serve Safe food protection program. So that can either be for managers or employees of our restaurants in the area. It's important that they get certified and get their food establishments in compliance to protect the health of their customers and their staff. The cost of the course is $160, but it's only $110 if you're a member of the Iowa Restaurant Association. And they can just go to the Iowa State Extension website to register for that program. We also have some free vision screening for children for 6 months of age through kindergarten. The screening will be held at the Harlan Primary Building, September 9th and 10th. It'll be held at Shelby County Catholics on the 11th, Head Start on the 17th, and Age STW's Elementary on the 18th. Homeschool students are welcome to attend any of those locations. And this event is sponsored by the Harlan Lions Club and the University of Iowa Stead Families Children's Hospital Department of Ophthalmology and Visual Sciences. So, you know, if you got a child who needs some vision screening and, you know, don't have any insurance, it's a good way to get it done. Reminder that this weekend is Carson's Farm Days. Each day will start with breakfast at 6:30, and they have parades and a lot of demonstrations going on. Admission is $10 per day, but kids 8 and under get in there for free. Then Thursday, a week from Thursday, I should say, September 12th, we have our after-hours networking event at 5 o'clock. That'll be at Milk and Honey. All businesses are invited. You don't have to be a member of the chamber to be able to attend that. And also on the 12th, Shelby County will be hosting SWPCO's annual members meeting. That'll start at noon, and that'll be at the Turkelson Center. We'll have lunch, and then there'll be some awards, and SWPCO will give their annual report.
Okay.
And then finally, just something kind of fun, on the 14th of September, that Saturday, the Museum of Danish America is going to have flatbreads and prairie flowers. So you go out to the prairie over there by the museum and have some flatbread salads and s'mores. But you do have to go to their website, the Museum of Danish America, and place your order for the food. You can't order it the day of the event, but that way they can, you know, get a head count and get prepared. But so that sounds like a lot of fun. It'll be from 5 to 7 on the 14th.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's it for the chamber for today.
Okay.
The brochures that I brought back to the courthouse.
Yeah.
For the rack up there.
Yeah.
They're disappearing.
Good.
So
Yeah.
for hotel motel, maybe we could get reprints and help these organizations out. You know, like there's the Danish Museum and there's
Yeah.
Log Cabin, and just figure out.
We can look at that. The other thing is like I said, is what I want to do, and I'm working with Western Iowa Tourism to do it, is get together kind of like a really easy instruction for all of our restaurants and our attractions on how to create a Travel Iowa account and put their information in there. Then when that Travel Iowa magazine comes out, it'll all be in there. Yeah, but there's too many for us, like our office, to be able to maintain them all, because you gotta update hours, you gotta update different things going on. But if each individual attraction does their own and keeps it updated, then, like I said, annually when that Travel Iowa
So
comes
I
out.
can contact like the Windmill Museum, the Harlan Museum, and have them bring their brochures and stock.
Definitely, yeah, 'cause
That's
that's what we do, yeah, is they bring them by our office and drop them off when
Yeah,
we're
'cause
around the
that-
hallway.
That's good.
I'm amazed that they disappeared like they have.
Yeah, so.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, secondary roads report. Morning, Chris.
Good morning,
Chris.
gentlemen.
How are you? It's a fine day.
I'm fine, how are you?
Iron Frog's here.
Good. Seems like I just saw you 2 weeks ago. It's been a quick 2 weeks.
I was just telling him about Pot County's little office.
Yeah, it's little, all right. We could expand
That's what you
if
dream
you'd like
for?
input. Yeah. Might be a little excessive for us,
Say
but
they wouldn't have the
even,
values.
even half, I would go for that. Just a few quick things first. As far as an action item, I have 7 right-of-way permits here. They're all for Farmers Mutual. Everything is very straightforward. They're all small areas, about a mile or so. As always, everything's bored under the roads, bored under culverts, no landowners affected, et cetera, et cetera. I have all their bonds and, insurances and all of that. So I can go into each one if you really want information on them, but
As
I
long as they
would,
meet our
yes,
permit requirements.
yes, they do, and I would put them forth for approval.
Why don't you read the areas, that way if we
Okay.
get any calls.
I've got 400th and Elmwood,
Okay.
500th and Elmwood. Right around 400th and Elmwood again to Dogwood. 500th and Dogwood. F58 and Dogwood.
Say F58.
Yes. F58 and Dogwood again going the other direction. And the last one is M16 and F58. So right around those areas,
Okay.
farmers will be working. And they said trying to get some things buttoned up here before the end of the season like the rest of us.
Yep. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve those road crossing permits?
Motion.
Farmers Mutual Cooperative.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
bringing that.
And just a few quick updates out of the secondary road department. Elkhorn Park Bridge, the bridge crew has set the mid-span beams. So last week we drove the south abutment piling, they are in the ground. Today, they're moving the rack to the north side, drilling the holes. We will be driving the north abutment piling. We have most of the riprap acquired to place under the south side of the bridge, so while they're driving piling on the north side, they'll be placing riprap. So that project is moving along quite well. And I think right now we're hoping 5 weeks or so it should be open at the most. We may beat harvest or some of harvest anyway, so
Okay.
that'll be a good thing to have done. Our first excavator, and I know I spoke of this last meeting, we are down on Redwood right by F58. We're still building up that intersection. We did get there, so I know today we are starting to dump dirt on the road, so if the public would just be cognizant. Whether they're on Redwood or 58, just be aware there is activity down there. Our second excavator will be starting on 1300 Street right west of Highway 59. During the big storm of the spring, we had a lot of water come down and the ditch is full. It put a lot of debris and sediment across the intersection at 59, so we need to get that fixed before winter. So we'll be there ditching, and again, if everybody can just pay attention
Okay.
and watch a little bit, that'd be great. Our last big let project of the season was our line painting on all the pavement surfaces. Local traffic was here between this meeting and the last meeting, and everything has been repainted. So lines should be good going
Looks
into
nice.
winter, and yeah, I think they did a good job. Everything's freshened up and much more visible than it was. So that was our, like I say, our last big let project for the season. Otherwise, as of today, all operators are back out in their territories in their machines. So again, harvest is coming. We did have some good rain the end of last week, so try and cut washboards. They are out on dirt. Just a general,
Yeah, I've noticed it, but I'm
just a general going over and get everything as good as we can, and then we'll try and
Couple weeks of
stay out of the
review
way.
going.
And Yeah, and the dairy is chopping right now. We're aware of that. We're trying to go in behind them as they get through with an area and dress things back up. It's just part of the deal that, you know, they have a lot of traffic going over the roads when they chop.
Do they still
Have
water,
been money, yeah.
Yeah, not
do
too
they still
bad.
water the roads
They
for dust control?
They have, I don't know if they've watered it this year. He has put dust control in front of many residences
Okay.
as always, so.
Okay.
I know if it gets too bad, they do run water trucks, so. Other than that, that's my 2-week update if you guys don't have any other questions.
Okay, full staff?
We are full staff. We hired and filled the truck one position. He will start October 1st,
Okay.
so. We'll be
Good.
good going into winter as of right now.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, sir.
Chris.
You bet.
Next on the agenda is our beaver bounty. We have $6,000 in the past. We budgeted $25 per animal. That'd be from November 2nd to April 15th. Something we did for a number of years, raised it a few years ago. I'm surprised with
We raised it last year before,
the end.
yes.
Yeah, just to get through, there's so many out there. I'm surprised, what would the beaver numbers be if we weren't doing this? And
Right.
they're still,
Mhm.
Probably in
still,
my backyard.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have any input? I know.
It seems like we tap it every year. It wouldn't hurt to up it if we can.
The rural basic can handle if you wanted to.
I would
You just have
suggest,
to amend before,
As long as it's in the budget,
yes.
I would suggest 8,000.
really, you think? Okay.
Why turn them
Long,
away?
no, I'm just saying, just as long as we have it in the budget.
Right. You can check on that.
You just have to be amended. You're not hurting rural basic with this, guaranteed, I promise.
Well, it definitely saves a lot of expenses down the road.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People fighting them, and even soil conservation.
Right.
That's one of the reasons we started doing this, and your culverts and roads and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a good.
What are you seeing?
I know just on the dams that I inspect for NRCS, yeah, there's quite a good amount floating around again out there, so. And even down on the park bridge, they've already started to pack our temporary crossings, so.
Really? Okay.
It's a good deal you guys provide, I think.
No, it's saves us money in the long run, so you'd like to see it go to 8?
I would.
You all right with that, Charlie?
Yep.
Okay, so do I have a motion to increase the beaver bounty from what we originally talked about, 6 to 8? It's still $25, first come, first served, correct? November 2nd to April 15th. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Approved urban renewal report, annual report, Mark?
Yeah, I sent you guys copies, and the way it works out, this year, the year-end outstanding TIF obligations at the very bottom of the first page, it says 291,000. Well, that's a lot higher than normal. That is because last year we did not make a loan. We just used the funds that we received, and we didn't have to borrow anything, just let it churn through there. And so if we would have borrowed the money, if we would have borrowed $200,000, that 291 would have been 91. But there's money in there, so why go through all the paperwork and everything of doing that if there's money in there?
And all this money is spent at secondary roads
That
for bridges,
291 is
culverts.
owed secondary roads.
Okay, right,
Yep.
okay. You good?
And it takes a few years to, like if we stopped right now, we'd get that money back in the next 2 years.
Yeah, it pays for itself.
Yes.
Yeah, you're supplying me as much as you can.
Yep.
Every year, so.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
None.
Okay. Is it still November 1st this has to be in?
December 1st.
December 1st?
But with elections and everything in the fall, I like to get
Oh,
this
no,
done.
I don't, no problem, it's not gonna
That's
change
what's
any,
happening.
but I didn't know if that
Yeah.
deadline changed
And
anything.
it's just a verbal deadline. It's not in code or anything, but you cannot submit your budget until this is submitted, one of the prerequisites.
Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the urban renewal report as presented by Mark?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Bryce, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next on the agenda is update and possible action on the purchase or sale of county property. Marcus, you want to come on up here? I'll give a little bit of an update that Marcus can take over. We sold the property annex building, when was that? A couple months ago? With a closing of August 15th. Come to find out, there was 3 old fuel storage tanks on the property that we all come to find out. Did not know that. We did not disclose that, but we also, as we found out, did not have to disclose it because there was an affidavit in our records that these 250 to 300 gallon tanks, there's 3 of them again, were taken out of commission prior to 74. By the DNR, if they were taken out of commission before 74, and you filled them with sand, you did not have to report them. So that's why there was no record out there of it. They are there, they're filled with sand. They are to the farthest they can be in the northwest corner of the property, just right next to the street, right north of the stop sign there, not next to the building or anything. And so the new owner had some concerns, and so that's where I'll turn over to Marcus. So they put together an agreement. It hasn't been a problem in the past, and how we're going to address that.
Yeah, so what the new owner wants to do is they want the county to sign an indemnification agreement, basically saying that if there's ever a problem there, that the county will take care of it. And part of that agreement is that before they would remove those tanks, they have to contact the county so that we have some control over how, what, when, where, how much. If, yeah. But, these tanks, like you said, have been there forever. They're filled in with sand. They've not been a problem.
Right.
They're not regulated by the DNR. It's a pretty safe bet to do this indemnification agreement to get the property sold. And
In these tanks also, because they sit so far at the end of the property, they're not in any setback area where they could build or anything according to city code.
right,
So they're not in the way of development.
yeah. And they won't be disturbed by anything. So,
And the county knew that when they purchased the building. I think it was back in the early 90s.
yeah.
But that's when we had the
Yeah.
affidavit from
Yeah.
Petchy's that,
Right, right.
that they were there and done properly filled.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think this is a pretty low risk for the county to take in order to get the property sold.
Right. And they still have to notify the county if they ever, somebody would want to do that.
Correct. Yeah, that's part of the agreement.
Yep. Okay. I think that's it in a nutshell. You guys have any other questions for Marcus?
Nope.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement that Marcus has stated?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Charlie, second by Bryce. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. And
You bet. So
they should be closing in on that if they accept this.
Yeah,
correct?
I'll contact their attorney and see when we can set up a
Okay.
time to close on it.
Okay.
And we'll have that indemnification agreement there for signature, so. And I'll
Okay.
need that date to recalculate a check. Yeah, for the prorated rent and stuff, yeah. So I'll contact him and let you know. When it happens.
Okay, keep us updated.
Yep,
Okay, thank you, sir.
you bet.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions or comments from the public?
Gene.
Come on up, Gene. Good morning.
Good morning. Just a couple quick updates from a couple projects, updates and reminder that the Community Canvas project, which is through the Shelby County Wellness Alliance, their next project that you may have heard about is installing crosswalk art in the downtown area, and that will be happening next Monday. So that's been approved by City Council to provide closing of the streets. That's at the corner of 7th and Market. So best known between kind of the Secret Trinity head to toe area, Secret Trinity and Milk and Honey area. And then at the southeast corner in the Bowers, Leah Marie. So from next Monday morning until Tuesday morning, those half blocks will be closed. The 4 streets around the square will be fully open, but just probably a reminder to any of the employees that coming south on 7th or north on 6th, there'll be half block closings for the safety as they install those painted crosswalks. It's a great collaborative effort, really spearheaded by the Wellness Alliance and participation by the school and students.
How long will that be there?
24 hours.
Okay.
So from 7 o'clock Monday morning to 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. And Mother Nature looks to be, right now, it looks to be a great day to get those done.
Okay.
There'll be more information on the radio and Facebook, but just a reminder and update for you all in the downtown area and certainly around the courthouse. And then secondly, you may have noticed just over the past 4 or 5 days that the welcome signs coming from the south and north, the backlit lighting is now in place. So if you're driving at nighttime, you'll see the LED lighting, and that's the second of the third piece will be, to complete that project, will be landscaping around those signs.
Very nice.
They do look nice, and the backlit lighting came out quite crisp, so they look sharp. So
Yep, they do.
just want to provide a few of those updates.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Come on up, Alex. Why don't you come up here so that you can be on camera?
Nothing long.
Okay.
I just wanted to remind everybody that with the tornado and all the other severe weather we've had this last, what seems like forever ago, but
Since April?
yeah, since April. But the state has offered different grant programs.
Thank you.
And the 2 of them that are really going to impact us are the sheltering program. They basically take a travel trailer and put it on your property or somewhere else. There's also the farm interest program, so any interest that you get from a federal loan, whether it be SBA or USDA, whatever it is,
Even local loans,
even local loans.
as long as it's for
disaster
rebuilding.
recovery, Yep. The state will cover up to, I believe it's $50,000 of it. So those programs we've put a link to them on our website and then our Facebook page and all over as much as we can. But they are first come, first serve.
Yep.
So the earlier you get your application in, the better.
Probably the most friendly, since the state reorganized it and listed all these programs, I've had comments from people I've run into how user-friendly it is
Mhm.
and easy to follow and directions.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, and the link that we provided on our Facebook page and website is every disaster grant that's open right now. And then you just click on whichever one you want, and then
Yep.
it tells you everything you have to do to apply.
Yep.
So,
Thanks for that reminder.
Yep.
Yep, been trying to get that out there, so thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks, Alex.
anybody else? Okay, meeting adjourned, thanks everybody.